Welcome to a very special episode of The Pulse. I'm MrBitter, your host, joined on set by Andre Gritorp Hengshua.
What's going on?
And a very special pro guest, Michael Doble. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah, that's right.
AKA Gosu user of Team Millennium, a very respectable and high-level North American Zerg player. And today we're...
Hold on. Elephant in the room. Ben has no hair. Move on. People are going to wonder about that, Ben. You can't just, like, come on, have such a drastic change. That's like if I shaved off everything in my hair. Or all of a sudden I wasn't, like, massively gigantic in my pectoral muscles and my shoulders. People will be like, what happened to Greytorp?
That's a picture that I took yesterday after my haircut. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
so
elephant in the room. It's done. Nobody's gonna talk anymore.
I wasn't really even gonna bother with it.
No, now we can focus.
Okay,
let's focus, Ben. We have a guest today. It is, of course, Gosu user. I know you already introduced him, but let's go ahead and talk about what he's accomplished lately. Obviously, turned up at the most recent MLG. I gave him my honorable mention, Gosu user vs. Bomber. I thought that series was one of the best series at MLG. If you guys haven't tuned into that, go ahead and go to YouTube, search MLG, Bomber, and Gosu user, and it should come up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Gritorp. Hey, Mike, how the hell are you? What's up, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. First of all, congratulations on a unfortunately terrible result at MLG. But you played some good games. And we were all very proud of you. I think you represented the North American scene very well. You played some excellent games, and I think everybody will remember that series because it was great.
Yes.
Well, yes, Mike
thanks.
says. You're very welcome, sir. So as good as that ZVT series was, that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're going to talk about Zerg versus Zerg. Of course, Heart of the Swarm came out just a few short weeks ago. That's right.
About two weeks and a little bit more.
Yeah.
March 12th.
Yeah. Of course, we've had the beta for a while, but the game has only been out for a few weeks. And since then, we've noticed some pretty big changes in the metagame, particularly in Zerg versus Zerg. If you think back to Wings of Liberty, we can remember that Roach Infester was probably the most prevalent style. Towards the end of Wings of Liberty, we were starting to see Mutalisks popping up here and there, but it was not by any means the go-to build. And then Heart of the Swarm came out. The Infester was nerfed. I'm not going to say it was majorly nerfed, but it was nerfed enough that it's no longer kind of the go-to unit in Zerg versus Zerg. The Mutalisk was buffed. And again, I'm not going to say that it was majorly buffed. It was a nice buff, but it's not... I wouldn't call it a game-breaking buff, but it certainly has changed the landscape of Zerg versus Zerg. And Mike, I just want to kind of start by asking you, what do you feel is, or what has become the norm in Zerg versus Zerg in Heart of the Swarm?
Mutalisk.
Okay. Keeping it simple, keeping it short and sweet, Mutalisks have become the norm in ZvZ. And we kind of outlined the reasons already. We said the Infester got nerfed slightly, the Muta got buffed. But what does it boil down to? Why is the Muta so dominant in Zerg versus Zerg right now?
Well, mostly because of the health regen buff, I think. You need, like, more Infestors to actually be effective against them than before. Because before, if you fungoed them once or twice, then they'd be about half health or a bit lower, and they couldn't be aggressive for a while. Now you fungal them, and unless you can actually kill them with fungals, it's completely useless because they heal so fast. I think that's the biggest part. Obviously, they move a bit faster too, which helps. But I think it's mostly just the regen.
And the projectile.
The projectile of the fungal?
The fungal.
Yeah, it's harder to catch them, I guess.
Well, normally...
I don't think that's that big of a deal, though.
I'm going to tell you why, Mike. I'm going to tell you why, Mike,
right now. With your Infestors,
I'm going to reference the games.
They have to dive into the spore. I think it's more the Mutalisk regen.
No. It is. I said it. But it has a contribution. It's more the Mutalisk regen than anything else. But let's talk about that projectile. Okay? All of a sudden, you're playing Wings of Liberty, right? Mutalisks fly into your base. They're like, oh, no, get some spores up. Your queens are defending. Okay. They come in with the second round of Mutas. They're like, oh, I got Infestors. Boom! They're shut down. They're dead. Ben, they're not coming back. Okay? So you need to use them in some sort of all-in situation where it's like, I got roaches. They're going on top of the Infestors. this is the big attack. If it doesn't work, I'm screwed, right? Wrong. Not in Heart of the Swarm, Ben. Not in Heart of the Swarm. Because all of a sudden, you have those infestors. Boom! You can't just wait for infestors and you got everything good. You need to get a lot of them, because you're gonna miss. You're gonna miss, Ben. You're gonna miss. It's not instant.
Okay.
So it contributes. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes. Certainly. Of course, we all agree. Mike agrees, don't you, Mike?
Yes.
See,
you go.
we all agree. Muta has become very dominant in ZvZ, and if you guys out there that are watching have had lighter experiences, anything like the ones I've been having, it's becoming pretty infuriating. Every time you get a ZvZ, you just kind of know what it's going to boil down to. It's either going to be A, an all-in before mutas come out, or B, it's going to be mutas forever. And those muta games, when it reaches that mutaless stage, often revolve around, can I secure a third base? It's either get that third base, get that 5th and 6th gas and win, or have it denied and lose. Is
Very
that
tactical.
It's
Almost StarCraft 1-esque. But Mike can go on about that because he's the resident expert right now.
so Mike. Talk to me about the mutaless or the ZvZ muta versus muta dynamic, and tell me a little bit about what you think is, I guess, most important in getting into that sort of part of the game where you feel like you can work off of 3 bases instead of just 2.
With mutas?
Yeah. Yes.
Or with the mutas, you usually take the third. I think I just usually do it in game. It's like automatic, but I think you usually take it around like 44 supply, something about that. And then you usually defend with Ling Banes, pressure the other player with Ling Banes, and try to cancel their third or kill it if you can until the mutas come out. And then you just build some drones, saturate the gases mostly at the third, and build constant mutalisk with the +1 carapace, and as many lings as you can afford.
And that's literally what every ZvZ ever kind of turns into.
Yes.
Sometimes. I prefer to cheese. That's one of the ways around it, too.
Well, that's cool. Well, maybe we'll see a little bit of that today. Before the show went live, you were telling me that you don't feel like you always have to go muta.
Yeah, I think you can mix it up a lot with cheese. There's a couple of cheeses that you can do that are pretty good. You can also do playstyles without mutas and without cheese, which are okay. I think I'll probably do one today. Like, people used to go a pretty fast third, around like 620, 630, 640. You can still take a third around that time and just use Ling Banling and not go mutas, go infestors or something instead.
Okay.
That works pretty well still. You can still do 2-base infestor with the third later, kind of. And there are some other things like queen, infestor timings that work pretty well too.
All right. Well, we're going to get into some of those builds in just a second. Andre, why don't you head on back?
Okay,
You're going to be our practice partner for the day. Andre, of course, Heart of the Swarm Grandmaster level Zerg player. So, Ghost User, you better not slack off here.
Ghost User, have you seen me on ladder?
I think I saw you stream, and I know you're Grandmaster. I haven't actually played you, I don't think.
No,
unless
we
you have a
haven't played.
Smurf.
Oh,
We
right.
haven't played.
So we're taking the gloves off.
We're taking the gloves off.
All right,
right
so
now.
after today,
I'm just warning you right now, Ghost User. As you can tell by my demeanor, I'm pretty tilted from today's games. That does not mean I will rage at you. I'm just.
but it also doesn't mean that he won't. So Andre's going to head to the back and get set up. Anybody that's watched any of my content for a long time is going to be pretty familiar with the format today. We're going to sit down. Mike is going to show us a build. We don't know exactly what it's going to be just yet, but he's going to do that. Then he's going to coach me through that same build. We're both going to play against Greetorp, and then once we've both had an opportunity to get through it once or twice, and we'll bring Andre back out. We'll discuss the games, and we'll close out the show. So that's what we have in store for everybody. Ghost User, now that Greetorp is gone, what build do you feel like you're going to show us first?
I think I'm going to take a quick third at like 620, 630, and just use lots of Ling Banling to pressure his third. So if he goes muta, it's going to be 2-base muta instead of 3-base muta. And then just transition into spores, infestors, a couple queens, and then Roach Hydra.
So you're going to do this without building a single mutalisk?
Yeah.
It can't be done, Mike!
Hopefully. If he's cheesing me, it's kind of hard to defend if you do this build, but usually people go mutas, so it works out okay.
All right, so if you could have any map in the world, what map do you feel like best plays to the strengths of the build that you're about to show us?
Not sure actually. I guess a big map would be better. Maybe. What's that one ladder map called? Let me check.
Whirlwind, Belshire Vistage,
Oh, not
Daybreak.
that one. That one's okay, but I guess.
Akalon Wastes is not that big. Neoplanet S is. Yeah. Actually,
I think Newkirk would be good.
you want Newkirk Precinct?
Yeah.
I hate this map. I hate this map so much, Mike.
Why?
I don't know, man. I feel like it never works out well for me. All right, let me invite my you must invite wait, no, stop, cancel. What did I do?
Oh wow, apparently this is my best map on ladder too.
Damn it, log out. Oh crap. Well, that's embarrassing. So I just started the game on accident before I invited Gosu User, and I'm random, and hey, I got Zerg. Well, we could literally play this, but we're not gonna. We're gonna rehost. All right, apologies for that. Take two. We'll just pretend that never happened. Yeah, ready intro. No, we're not good. There it is.